Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Brought by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre, and Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, March 5th. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. It is a sweep. I know you're shocked by the fight in Tony Vitello's. We'll figure it out in SEC play, I think. I hope. I pray for Rick Barnes and his crew. Kelly Harper, I don't know how you can be disappointed. I really don't. We'll get into all that. It's going to be a good show. We got a lot of catching up to do. Vols in Indianapolis. It's going to be fun to chat about. Can't wait. Sorry for missing you guys Thursday. We are here now. Don't hold it against us.
Dude, I don't know what you got for that lighting, but it's on freaking point.
It's that JC lighting. I finally brought it down 75 to Cleveland, Tennessee. So,
also, I have a bone to pick with you.
I can't see anything, but I believe you. So just tell me.
Okay.
I've got a studio lighting in here, dude. Just
it looks good. It's a golden hour.
Thank you. Yeah, it is.
I do have a bone to pick with you. You told me to eat at Jenkins. Apparently, your girlfriend said it was terrible.
She said terrible. She
said they don't have good food.
I was told it's not as good as it used to be, is what I was told.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was fine.
Well, Emily told me, so
I just thought it was funny because she was like, "What are you doing at my old work?" And I said, "Caleb told me to come here." She said, "Why did he tell you to go there? They have horrible food."
I've eaten there a couple times. I thought it was good. I did tell her outside of chain restaurants, Jenkins and Shane's, which Shane is technically a chain, but it's like local chain. It's like 30 hours south is the farthest they go, and Cleveland's the farthest north. Yeah, I was like, I guess they could have gone to a chain restaurant, but I didn't feel like I needed to tell them to go to Chili's. They could have figured that one out on themselves.
Right.
So I just
she did
told
say
them
that Cleveland doesn't have very many local spots. So
there is not a ton of local in Cleveland, unfortunately.
You did your best. So I did think it was funny. Like immediately I posted after she was like, "Why did you eat that?" I was like, "Your boyfriend told me to go there."
Yeah, no, it's not. No, I've eaten there 2 or 3 times, and it's been good. I didn't hype it up for you. Don't try to.
You didn't.
No, I just said go there, and I if you had asked me between those two, I definitely would have said Shane's. But yeah, no, Jenkins is good.
Yeah. All right, sorry to interrupt.
Did you get the cheese wings?
No, I did get the buffalo burger. I did try it.
That's fair. Cheese wings are pretty solid. No good Gussie's Good Times Deli or anything, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, their fries are pretty good.
Good for them. You know a place by their fries.
But the buffalo burger, like mine was like cut in two. It was like it looked like the burger where you kind of cut like the one burger in the batch where you cut into it to make sure it's done.
Yeah,
I guess I got that burger because it was cut in half, like the patty was.
Maybe Emily was right. I won't. Maybe so.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, I don't even know where we're at now. All right.
I think we have a good friend.
Let's get into the show. Let's get into the show. I have nothing in front of me because I am just wheeling and dealing here. I've got my phone. Okay. I don't have internet on my laptop. I still have last week's outline in front of me. But before, so I'm gonna let Landon lead the show. But I do have something in front of me that I gotta get off my chest, guys. Underdog. They're Knoxville's best sports collectible store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Toss Baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the University Commons Shopping Center next to Publix and Domino's to check them out. They're open 6 days a week with a live YouTube show, 3 nights per week. Remember to always bet on the underdog. Shout out to Underdog Collectibles. I know recently they've drawn a Drew Gilbert rookie card. They had someone else big last week too.
Yeah, I saw
it was like
Scherzer one as well.
Whew, look at him. Just best in the business. Best in the business.
Yeah, guys, go check them out. All right. We got bad news first, you know.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, it never felt like a game. Even though Tennessee was ahead, it still felt like they were like down. At halftime, as soon as Wendell Green hit that last second shot, it was like, well, it feels like we're losing at halftime.
It's your fault. You did tweet something. I don't have the exact tweet in front of me. I should have probably had it to get back at you. You said I'd rather them hit a buzzer beater at halftime than into the game. I kind of blame that loss on you a little bit if we're just being honest.
I mean, technically, I was right. They didn't. Here's the bad part is like Wendell Green doesn't have that many points if Zakai Ziegler is guarding him. That's what hurts. Well, and there's nothing.
I know that Knoxville game could have really gone either way. I mean, let's not try to sugarcoat it. I mean, we did win, but it could have gone either way. I really do just feel like Tennessee wins that game if Zakai Ziegler isn't playing. 11 turnovers. It just never felt like, which it doesn't always feel like with Zakai in the game, but it never felt like the pace offensively was there. And you lost your point guard. Like, you don't have your point guard there. Of course, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and I just hate losing to Bruce. I know people still are Bruce stans on social media and stuff like that. I just hate losing to him. I don't like. He was a great coach while he was here. If he was our coach again, I'd probably still love him, but he's not, so I can't stand him. And I can't stand that he yells at every single ref. He's always on the court. He's always sweaty. His veins are always popping out of his head. I just can't stand it. So it hurt yesterday to lose that game. To lose it and then to not get the double bye in the SEC tournament, it just didn't feel good.
Sounds like a medical condition he may want to get checked on. Everything you just described. If I typed that into WebMD, God, we would have been dying.
Herpes.
Can't get rid of that stuff. Kind of like Bruce Burley, just hangs around.
Right. But yeah, just not having Zakai it hurts. And I mean, they scored 79 points. They shot 49% from the field. Like, the defense just wasn't there. And, you know, like you said, I just have a hard time thinking if Zakai plays that this game isn't different.
Yeah, and maybe it's a closer game, so maybe it isn't which I don't know if it feels like a 9-point game. A lot of, fouling at the end, trying to get the ball back, all that junk. I don't know if it's a 9-point game necessarily, but it's certainly just I feel like it would have been buzzer beater territory type game. Offensive foul late in the game might change it, but I don't know how that goes. It's just you've got Jemai Meshack, who has done a ton for you defensively his entire time since he's been asked of it, giving you some offensively, but he's no Zakai Ziegler. Kind of same for a guy like Josiah, he's just going to have to the rest of the season take on a lot of the ball handling responsibility, or some of the ball handling responsibility. And it's just not going to be the same. We've talked about it the entire time he's been on campus. Visco, he's just not your guy bringing it up the court. He's never going to be. And Tyreek Key, they relied on him a lot. And I think he can be a really valuable player for Tennessee, but not in that role. And so it's going to be really difficult to mask what you lose in Zakai Ziegler. And I just don't know if Tennessee has it. And that sucks because now it's do or die time.
Yeah, and it was a normal Tennessee game because it was so inconsistent. You were talking about the Auburn game in Knoxville. Both teams barely got in the 40s. This game was well into the 70s. And then it was like both teams were hitting shots. And I thought if Tennessee's shooting well, the way they play defense, I didn't think they could ever get beat. But, I mean, here we are where our bigs, show out against Arkansas a couple nights ago, and then they no-show in the second half at Auburn. Olivier had 1 rebound. Urosh is 0 for 4 from the free throw line. I don't know why you're trying to draw fouls when you can't shoot a free throw. that's something that I'll just never understand. Me and a guy got into it on Twitter, and he was just like, "What do you want him to do?" I was like, "Make a free throw." And he's like, "You want him to just not like draw fouls?" And I was like, "If he's going to draw a foul and he can't make a free throw, he needs to finish at the rim."
That, or I mean, the frustrating thing with me with our bigs is the paint is a black hole.
Yep.
Anyone, just about.
Kick it out. Yeah, do something.
Yeah, just about anyone. And you could Urosh and Tobe Awaka. I love Tobe Awaka, but he's the same way. You get into Urosh, Kumwa, Awaka, or even Adu, another guy I really like. You get into them, I can guarantee you that ball is getting shot or turnover. There's no in between.
Yep.
You got to be able to do something else if you're not making shots, and that includes at the free throw line, my friend.
Yeah, and the way
I do want to push back on that. It is a tough thing of saying, what do you want him to do in the sense of Urosh? Because you're like, I will push back on your – but I also agree with your stance of make a free throw. 0 for 4, my friend.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you make those free throws, it's a totally different ball game at the end. You're not fouling and, trying to play catch-up at the end. It's totally different. So, yeah, I just wasn't pleased with our bigs. Olivier 1 rebound. I think Urosh, Adu, and Olivier combined for 7 rebounds. Toby Awaka had 10 rebounds in 18 minutes. I mean, we need those guys to give more effort, especially Olivier. He's got to be – you're a senior. Like, I mean, here we are probably just to March.
He's your most well-rounded big, too. So you need more from him.
He's probably your most talented. So, hey, you got a couple games left. That's all it's guaranteed. You got at least 2 games left.
2 games, yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, what do you do with those 2 games? Do you just play inconsistent and, just shy away? I don't know what that was in the second half, but I was not impressed whatsoever by our bigs. Vescovi continues to carry this team offensively. I thought, Josiah did well. Julian did well, but, we're talking about them, having to make up for Zakai being out and, handle the ball and, do a little bit more offensively than they probably are prone to. And then you kind of give up stuff defensively this time. That's where we struggled most of the time was on defense. I mean, we gave up, 7 offensive rebounds?
Yeah, 7 offensive rebounds. Mm-hmm.
And they shot 49%. They scored 79 points. That's not a normal Tennessee defensive game that we've seen this entire season.
Yeah, I think it hurt. We talked about it early. I can't remember which game it was, fairly early on in the season. We talked about, if you shoot 47% from the floor, 47% from 3, like you're going to win most games the way your defense is playing. And so I think it goes to show that this isn't a game whether, Tennessee's struggling offensively, struggling from 3, struggling to make shots, whatever you want to say. That isn't really the case with this game. It's just you did not play your best defensive game. And also on the offensive end of the floor, you shot 63%. Wow, I gave them two spots there. 63% from the free throw line. And I mean, we know Tennessee's a bad free throw shooting team. That's not new news. But it just is more frustrating in games like this where it's make a few of those and you're in the game. It's a different ball game. You're not forcing shots. Whatever you have it. This team, I think the only way to define this team is frustrating. I really do. It's frustrating because we know that they're good. I mean, we know they're good, and it's just tough because they can't finish out. I don't know. It sucks.
We do have like a fan questions about basketball that we can kind of get into because I think that does pertain to this. They ask, why are people so upset about a top 15 basketball team?
Because games like this, game where Auburn's playing to get into the NCAA tournament. And I know you'll say, oh, well, they have more to lose on the line. Tennessee's still playing for spots. You heard it all throughout the broadcast, and it pissed me off. Oh, Tennessee can still be a 2 seed right now. Like, I don't feel like we deserve that even with a win at Auburn. And it just it irritated me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think what's frustrating is this, like, you got to be hot come March. And Tennessee is anything but that. I mean, having them put together a run in March, I think is – we haven't seen that all season, so I don't know where it's going to come from. I think your team is who they are come March. I just don't think Tennessee can put together a run because they're just not a consistent basketball team. Can they beat somebody? Absolutely. But continually to beat different teams throughout the NCAA tournament, I just think that's slim to none.
Yeah, this game such to pretend I'm not having a good basketball.
Up a little bit.
Yeah, am I any better?
That
would be it, but
not a little bit.
But
yeah, let him fix that real quick and see if he's going to get back in here. Yeah, just tough. I just wish this team would figure it out, but here we are in March. Like I don't think you figure that out now. And losing the Zakai doesn't help that at all. Like that was our chance. I really thought this team, when they got healthy, would probably turn a corner and figure it all out. I guess I was hopeful. But we never really got that chance. As soon as Josiah and Julian gets back, you lose Zakai for the year, and it's just unfortunate. You back?
Maybe.
Yep, you're back.
To kind of answer that question, I don't want to pretend I'm not happy about having a good basketball team. I am.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to win games, and you want to win important games, and you want to win games in March, and you want to win that game or two in April. And these just aren't the teams that it looks like they're going to do it. And you said it, this team can beat anybody. They can beat anybody. They can also lose to anybody. And that's incredibly frustrating, and it makes Saturdays anxiety-filled, and it's just not entirely fun. So I enjoy this basketball team. First off, Zakai Ziegler is one of my favorite Vols of all time, which I texted Emily on, what was that, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever that game was. And I literally said, I'm almost positive my exact words were, I am heartbroken right now. That's what I love this basketball team. It's not that. It's just, it's frustrating to not know what you're going to get out of them each night. And it's frustrating to know that they are this good and they may win a game and they may win a game or two in March. That's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, what you said is exactly right. Like, this team can beat anybody, and the fact that they're not is the issue.
Yeah. I love these guys, too. Josiah Jordan-James. I mean, this is a guy that, in my opinion, has worked his tail off every moment he's been on Rock Top. Santiago Vescovi, kind of same deal. We saw him come in, almost like a giraffe that didn't know how to walk yet, and now he's grown into his own as one of the better three-point shooters in the SEC. And it's incredibly frustrating that you can't win with guys like that on your roster.
Yep. Agreed. So you got the SEC tournament coming up. I mean, you get the winner, you lose that double bye, you're the 5th seed. That's another frustrating part is like Tennessee was ranked 12th in the country this week, and here we are 5th in the SEC.
Yeah, give yourself the best chance to win in March. Come on. It's hard to win in March. It's hard. Give yourself the best chance to do so.
Yeah. So you get the winner on Thursday at 2:00 of South Carolina and Ole Miss, and they play Wednesday night, I think.
The last time I felt no hope in the SEC tournament, it got canceled by COVID. Is that a possibility again?
Maybe.
You don't answer that?
Yeah, maybe. I just want to see us win a couple games, maybe get something going. I think Tennessee is a little hampered by their bigs. Even though Tennessee has size, I don't think the offensively, it's not there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Defensively, yeah, they could probably protect the rim and get some boards. We can out-rebound teams all day long, but if they're not giving us any production offensively, I mean, what? They're just a black hole. That's literally all they are.
Yeah, I rest my case with that. Yep.
All right, well, let's get into something else. Let's get into the NFL Combine.
What a week for the Vols. What a week.
It feels good. I don't remember the last time I've actually really paid attention to the Combine.
This is actually the first year in a long time that I've not watched I haven't watched the second of the Combine. I don't know if you have. I'm not counting highlights and clips. But I'll usually try to turn it on and watch whatever's on when I can.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Unfortunately, I've been at the baseball field most of the weekend,
That's
so
true.
I haven't watched a ton. But I have kept up with it. Like usually, like I'm just like, oh, cool, this guy. Who's the fastest guy? That kind of thing, or what do the quarterbacks look like? Who are the freaks? Who's somebody that's like tanked their stock in one workout? I like to see those guys. Yeah.
Well, not a workout. That was before you said that, but yeah.
Yeah. I did find it funny. So we got to see Hendon Hooker meet with the media, kind of have his, I don't know what you call that. Like it's meeting with, you basically have a press conference, whatever it is.
Right.
And answer questions. And somebody asked him about one read progressions. They're like, what do you say to these people who only think you can have only one read? And he was like, I mean, it's not my fault that my first read's always open. Like, what do you want me to do? And that's just such a Hendon Hooker response because, I mean, this offense, we've seen it, like, it's complicated. And for somebody to even ask that question is dumb, in my opinion.
Well, it does go to show you what I guess I really don't pay attention to national media all that much. It's much more like regional, and then even Tennessee based. Like that's really all the sports I truly care about, other than the occasional article. So I guess that's what people are talking about is Hendon Hooker being a one-read quarterback. Surely, I would imagine that dude didn't just pull it out of a hat.
Yeah, it made me think of like, hey, you're being labeled as a system quarterback, and my kind of rebuttal to that is, wasn't Patrick Mahomes the same thing? I mean, I'm not sitting here saying Hendon Hooker's Patrick Mahomes, but that was Patrick Mahomes' not coming out too. Is like, oh, you playing an air raid offense,
right? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not knocking Hendon when I say all that. It's interesting to hear what maybe the national skepticism is of Hendon, maybe you could argue that he's throwing all check downs or something. But I mean, he's made some big throws. He's won some big time games, and he's had good receivers around him. But I've got news for you: in the NFL, he's going to have pretty good receivers around him if he plays in it. So yeah, it's just funny. I thought he just had a very I don't know if he had kind of prepped that statement when he ready to go meet with GMs and coaches, but that was solid. If it was off the cuff or not, but.
Yeah,
like you said, just what do you? I mean,
yeah, maybe
what, are you going to blame him?
Start guarding his first read.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've really looked into the relative athletic score, and that's kind of what, like, after your workout, you kind of have like all of this stuff in a scorecard, and it's basically like, I think of it as like your spark rating, like your Nike spark rating,
like Road to Glory. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like base out of 10. It has to do with size, explosiveness, speed, and I think agility as well. And there was a ton of guys in the nines. I mean, Darnell Wright had a 9.47. He's 333
It's out of 10?
Yeah.
This is where you're throwing me off. It didn't spark out of like 100, but some guys can score like one. Some guys can score like 109.
Right. Yeah. I don't get it. I think they just like maybe their ratings got too high, so that was the only way they can make them higher is to go past the threshold there,
past 100.
Yeah, but that was the most impressive thing to me. Darnell Wright ran a freaking 5.01 at 333 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, offensive coaches just have to be because I mean, you watch guys like Byron Young, and he's not the only one that are just freak athletes on that side of the ball. And I mean, you got to be wondering it when you see these guys coming out of college. All right, how are we going to stop? When they're 28 years old and getting stronger and maybe faster. Well, then you got guys like Darnell Washington, same age as them, running 5.01. I mean, you got to just be so excited for that kind of thing. What I say, Darnell Washington. Well, he's a freak too, by the way. Did you see his sled drill? Jesus Christ, Darnell Wright there. Yeah, you got to be just. I mean, that's a good example of a guy who's going to be blocking Byron Young's. But yeah, you got to be excited for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's 300. I think that's the third fastest since 2003.
For an offensive lineman?
that was over 330 pounds.
I'm shocked he's still at 330. I mean, with the way they push this offense, you'd think they'd try to. I don't know. It's one of those fine lines where you try to balance strength, weight, and conditioning. And so,
well, that's the thing. Like, you know that man's condition.
Yeah. 330
and so like he's holding that 333.
Yeah, that's so heavy.
Yeah.
I
did find it hilarious. Some guy was like, if I saw a big guy running that fast, I would follow him anywhere he went. And I'm like,
that was a good text. That was solid. I don't know if you can tweet that. That was a good text.
Yeah. I probably not on here either.
Yeah, no pogs in here. You had to. We can't do inside jokes on the podcast. You got to just. Let them fly a little bit.
Yeah, so. I was like,
you brought it up.
He's a chubby chaser. I mean, if you're following a guy that big, I mean, you're a chubby chaser. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you brought it up. Don't put that on me.
Yeah.
Some
are guys, some aren't. You know, he is.
So Darnell Wright, I do kind of want to we talked about him raising his draft stock this season. Did you think he could raise it any more at the NFL Combine? It seems he has. Did you think that was possible?
I honestly didn't think he would run that well.
Right. I mean yes.
So like,
did you think it was possible even then? You're like, let's say he ran well. I mean, well doesn't mean 5 flat. Just about what he ran. That doesn't mean that. Did you think he could raise his draft stock anyways?
No, I mean, I thought his production would outweigh
anything he did.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like he's. I mean, did you get praise from Will Anderson? I mean, it just. If you're looking for a tackle and you're not, a top 10 pick, Darnell Wright's just sitting there for you. I don't know what you're waiting on.
That's exciting, man. He's a guy who you just really weren't sure about. Just didn't show maybe all of what he seemed to be cracked up to be. And what an explosive year, dude.
Well, and that size, we're talking about Hendon Hooker being a system quarterback. Darnell Wright is not a system offensive lineman for this offense.
Well, you could argue it because he's really only been great in Josh Heupel's if we want to go the Hendon Hooker route.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He's when you look at him, you're like, oh, he shouldn't be in this offense.
Right.
But he's a lot more versatile than anybody wants to give him credit for because of his size.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm excited to see where he goes. He seems like a guy that could kind of. I don't want to put these kind of expectations on him, but I mean, everything he's shown could maybe be not a Super Bowl champion, but fit into a good team, Trey Smith-esque, just kind of seamlessly. I don't know. There haven't been just a ton of offensive linemen lately. Probably since, what would that have been, 2008, 9 Tennessee, that have just seamlessly fit onto NFL rosters.
Yeah, John James and.
Yeah, let's see. Ramon Foster came out, and he would have came out in 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just not a ton of Juwan James. Who else is on that offensive line? Good Lord, there are a bunch of them. But that made impacts in the NFL. So yeah, I mean, I think he could be one of those guys.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing that's a knock on him is he only plays right tackle.
I would hate a guy that played tackle. That would just piss me off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, most teams has 2 edge guys that's coming off. So the whole you need a left tackle and in terms of right tackle. Yeah, you want a left tackle because Blindside, we've all seen the movie. But
Sandra Bullock told you exactly how
but it's not just hey, that one guy can switch sides. It's not like he's coming off that left side every single time. So
I mean, you heard, hey, listen to Will Anderson, guy that's going to be a top draft pick. He told you.
Yeah, he told you. Best one. Another guy who thinks he's the best one is Jalen Hyatt. Thinks he's wide receiver 1. Put together a really good combine. I'm interested to see kind of what his weight 170 is definitely. I mean, his size is going to be a knock. It's been a knock since he was coming out of high school. That's why he ended up at Tennessee probably because of his size. So.
Yeah, and I think the combine's important. He was 170 on the roster. He's 170 the combine. That's not going to change. he's a guy I thought the combine was, and I mean, he's Blitnikoff winner. Don't listen to me knock his year. I'm not knocking his year. But I thought he was a guy that the combine was important for. He's a guy that he's going to wow you on the field. You watch him run a 40 in front of you, and you write his name down. I mean, he's that kind of guy. And so I thought,
and his 40, like to his standards, probably was kind of slow, but
right, but still,
like
wow,
the fourth fastest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean,
I expect him to run a similar, if not better, at Tennessee's pro day. I mean, I do, and I don't know if they do laser or hand time there. I have no idea. Hand time may bode well better for him. I have no idea. But yeah, he's a guy that I thought kind of needed the combine to start really. You kind of heard his name mixed in with early draft talk, early round talks. I thought to kind of solidify that he needed combine, and he showed you why this week.
Yeah, if I'm Byron Young, I'm going to be like, hey, Jalen, I'm on your heels, man.
For real.
4.43.
Okay, I'm not trying to knock Byron Young, but you saw a guy like Derek Barnett who was quick and fast. We could have used more of that speed and bend, my man. We could have.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I just didn't feel like we ever saw 4.43 from him, and it's unfortunate. Which I mean, he doesn't get that many opportunities to. It's pass down situations only.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unfortunate. And I mean, he played in the SEC. You're going to see Darnell Wrights all over the place. So,
and I think with JUCO too, like those guys aren't coming in. Like when you come in as a junior, you're not as polished as somebody that's been in a college program since they were a freshman. You're a little bit behind. Even though you're an upperclassman, you're still behind.
You've watched last year. You've seen how they're coached.
And, he's not played a ton of football in his life either. So I think – and he was all SEC. So, like, I'm not trying to take anything away from him either. But I do think probably his best football is ahead of him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
absolutely agree with that.
And he got a 9.24 in his RAS rating. Cedric Tillman, 4.55. I know somebody's like, oh, that's slow. Dude, I thought that was a great time for him.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that wouldn't necessarily benefit from the 40. Coming off injury that he's kind of battled the last however many months. I don't know what it is since at least mid-September now. He's one of those guys that if you sit out the 40, you kind of understand. So to go out there and run a 4.5, I don't think that's too I don't know if I'd call it great territory or anything, even knowing that, but it's certainly not bad at all. And I mean, Jalen Hyatt's, would you say fourth fastest? I mean, Cedric Tillman can't be terribly far behind.
Well,
he's not at the bottom.
Yeah, and it's like that. You knew going into it that was going to be his weakness.
Right.
But he's not a slot receiver either.
Yeah. I mean, first off,
if your slot receiver's running a 4.55, maybe that's a little red flag. But, a guy that, the tape, when you watch the tape, he's a guy that's going to be a red zone threat. Go up, get the football, break some tackles.
Dylan, if you can, do me a favor and look up Jawan Jennings. And then, I don't think Marquez Callaway's was that fast. You can look up their 40s real quick at Tennessee's Pro Day. That would be appreciated because they were not that fast. Those are two guys that are mainstays on NFL rosters right now out of Tennessee. So I'm not sweating it.
I wonder what Josh Palmer's is too.
I would guess Josh Palmer's is a little bit closer to Jalen Hyatt's, but yeah, I don't think it's much faster.
Yeah. But he's going to test out well at broad jump, vertical. He tested out great in that. His RAS was 9.22. Darnell Wright's was 9.47, and then Jalen Hyatt's was 9.46. And Jalen Hyatt was elite in everything except for his size, and something that you can't really help.
Right. So, unfortunately, we would.
Right.
What was that? Who was that said was the only thing he would change about him? Who was that did that?
I don't know.
Thought about it. Pardon my take, shared it on Twitter. Someone sent it to me. Thought about it. I have a bigger dick. So we could help.
7.3.
If we could help the boys, we would.
Yeah.
We can't. We can't do anything about size. So.
Yeah, Jennings ran a 4.73.
You're Dylan's kind of.
Yeah.
Wait, who ran it? I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll.
Juwan.
Jennings ran it. Wow. I didn't know it was that. I knew it was slow. I didn't know it was that slow.
And he's starting in the NFL.
How the hell did he get the name JJ Jetplane? I mean, that's. He ran a 4.73.
It was hand
preparing
timed
for the NFL.
He got hand timed when they gave him that nickname.
Yeah, I guess. Good night. All right. Let's move on from that because I love Juwan. I don't want to sound like I'm talking crap.
Hey, fun fact, I was faster than Juwan Jennings coming out of high school.
I don't remember I would guess I was too. And there's just no way I ran a 4.73. There's just no way. That's slow.
Also, Jeremy Banks was there as well. I just didn't really want to talk about him, but I do want to talk about his comment because it's just like, can you just like help yourself a little bit?
My biggest problem with it is NFL GMs and NFL coaches, they already know why. They know the exact, they don't know like he got suspended for team rule. It's not that they're guessing. They talk to Josh Heupel and other coaches on the staff, and they know what you did to get suspended.
Yeah. His comment was no reason I should have been not playing. Also, can we help us?
There's no reason I should have been not playing. Was that word for word?
That was word for word, yes. So maybe you have been missing class, especially English class.
There's no reason I should not have been. I should not have been playing, or
I should have not been playing.
Okay. Yeah, that's the issue.
No, right. I should have been not playing. I should have been not playing.
Okay. All right. I think I'm on the same page as you. I don't know. Not you. I'm talking right. Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think it can be right, but I don't think it's right at the same time.
Shouldn't it be no reason?
It should be I should not have been playing.
Yeah.
There's no reason I should not have been playing. But yeah. It is. I think that's right. I don't know. Anyways, there's no reason you should still be at the University of Tennessee, to be fair, Jeremy. And that's my biggest issue with it is you got second and third chances. And whatever you did, rumors, I'm not going to sit here and speculate on what you did. But why would they just be suspending you for no reason?
Yeah.
And listen, if it is what the rumors say they were, okay. I mean, maybe you're right, but maybe not make that public. Maybe not burn bridges where you shouldn't burn bridges.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to, and maybe things are squashed, and hopefully they are. But yeah, you definitely want Josh Heupel and the coaches to be in your corner at this time. Maybe wait to make that comment after.
Yeah, it's just I didn't even think about that angle all around. That's just a dumb comment now that I think about that. But yeah, I had a hard time thinking. There was a lot of speculation that defense quit because they thought Banks was unfairly suspended. That was some rumor and speculation. I just have a hard time believing that one because they come out and play fine against Vanderbilt and then play fine against Clemson. So I just have a hard time believing that one. I'm sorry. And maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. I have no idea. But that rumor's hard for me to believe now. I'll say that.
Agreed.
I said I wasn't going to speculate on rumors. Here we are speculating on rumors. Classic me. Just twists and turns. What are you going to do?
Love it. That's kind of all I had for the NFL draft. I mean, it's still going, or NFL Combine. It's still going on. So we'll keep up with it as we start getting closer to draft time. I do want to say, Anthony Richardson is everybody seems like they're shocked that he's testing out great at the Combine. The dude's a freak.
Yeah, I don't think we ever. And honestly, a lot of people started showing us. Like I've seen his tapes going around on Twitter. And yeah, if you only look at the good, I could get why he's a high prospect. Like he has made some freakish throws and plays. I get that. But we've watched him in Florida for how long now? Like, come on.
Yeah. I don't know.
Come on.
Just frustrating.
No, he's a freak athlete. I mean, didn't he? Well, I don't know how much. Maybe just under freak athlete because didn't he hurt himself doing a backflip before a game? Joe Milton would never.
If I'm having a top 10 pick and I'm looking at film and maybe the combine, there's no way I'm picking Will Levis over Anthony Richardson.
Oh, those are my only two. Yeah, I'm taking
100%.
AR. I'm taking AR for sure. If those are my only two picks, yeah. It's easy. But
yeah, I mean
Will Levis did beat him twice though, right? Let's just be clear about that, didn't he?
Well, I do want to say out of the top 4.
That's for you, Austin.
The top 4 quarterbacks, Hendon Hooker beat 3 of them.
Good point. Oh, that's another point though. I'm taking Bryce Young over both of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said only those two.
And CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Although CJ I'm iffy on. What did he say? His idols are Michael Vick and Deshaun Watson. Maybe I push. Maybe I push back on those if hair.
Yeah, I was thinking like Jeremy Bates, you might have just hurt your draft stock. Well, you didn't hurt your draft stock as much as CJ Stroud. Good God.
CJ saw Deshaun get paid. He said, "That's who I want to be."
I mean, talking like that's not good under pressure that you come up with those two quarterbacks.
And honestly, the Michael Vick one, I get the Michael Vick one. You couldn't have halted on the Deshaun Watson one. You couldn't peel back the curtain on that one real quick and go, maybe that's not my second.
Yeah, maybe wait just a little bit.
Right. That was good. Dylan did say on NFL.com Banks' prospect grade was average backup or special teams. Or was it average backup or special teams? I don't know. What's an average backup? Will Compton?
I think that's probably below average.
9 years in the NFL. He was going for year 10. We talked to Vrabel. I interviewed Vrabel out at where was that at? God, what was the name of that tournament? He said we're going to wait until December. So it sounded like he wanted him, but couldn't make year 10 happen.
Is it FedEx? Is that what you're talking
about?
No,
I can't remember the name of that celebrity golf tournament now in Tahoe. You get it though. The one that RG3. We talked to RG3 at too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
3 permanent opponents. I know this is rumored, but I still want to talk about it because, I mean, I think, number one, I think it's good for Tennessee. Number 2, I think it does kind of even things out. There's no one that I thought like they didn't just crap on Vandy or Missouri.
I've seen a couple different ones. Which one did you pull?
So
just give me ours, and I may know whose it is.
So I got Vanderbilt, Alabama, South Carolina.
Okay, so there was one. Maybe that was the one I saw. South Carolina doesn't have Georgia or Kentucky, right? In that one,
South Carolina has Kentucky, Georgia, Tennessee.
Oh, so this isn't the one I'm thinking of then. Okay, all right, different one then.
This is from SEC Mike. He made this graphic, but it is the reported 9-game SEC annual opponents. I guess this is a rumor. Somebody put this out here, but
all right. Read Tennessee's off again. South Carolina.
South Carolina's got Kentucky.
No, read 3 of ours off. Sorry.
Vanderbilt, Alabama, South Carolina.
That would be so perfect. I mean, that Tennessee can never complain.
Right. You get 2 favorable opponents that should be wins. I know last year is what it is. I don't want to get into it, but
there were 2 wins. There were 2 wins on there, Landon. There were 2 wins on there.
Yes. However you get them, 2 wins. And you keep the rivalries in place. You keep the 3rd Saturday in October, which I know it sucks having to play Georgia and Alabama every single year, especially where the programs are at right now. But in this one, play Alabama every year. Dude, I like the rivalry. It is, and maybe I just like it a lot more now because we won this past year, but it was one of the best days of my life. So I want to keep that one in there.
I don't think it's a rivalry you can shy away from. I think it's one of those that there is a lot of precedent there, and I think it does it kind of sucks for Tennessee because they have that in-state rivalry with Auburn. But I think if Tennessee is at the place it's at currently, stays there for a while, I think the third Saturday in October could really return to a prominent rivalry. I mean, it's synonymous with the SEC.
Yeah. There were some teams in this that just got shafted. Well, and there was a rumor it was going to be Vanderbilt, Alabama, Kentucky for us. And I don't think that there's a huge difference in Kentucky and South Carolina.
I would rather play Kentucky. I'm sorry, Austin. I'd rather play Kentucky than South Carolina, personally.
Take out last year, though. Is that your same stance?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I kind of disagree. I think South Carolina has been an easier win. Even though we've beaten Kentucky probably more, I just think going into the game, like you think you have a better chance of beating South Carolina than Kentucky.
Maybe, but think yearly what South Carolina is through Spurrier, Muschamp, and now
Beamer.
Good God, Beamer. Think about what they have been throughout them, and then think about what they've been through Stoops. South Carolina is in a nice spot where they can kind of always get a little bit of talent. Kentucky's really, I mean, we talked about this the other weekend. Kentucky's not in that spot. Like they're picking up seconds from everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether it be Ohio State or an SEC school, they're kind of picking up seconds. Kentucky's not much of a football state to begin with. I think you just have a little bit more talent at South Carolina than Kentucky. And so I think when you're looking at roster-wise, and that's what I'm kind of considering because you don't know who the coach is going to be in 5 years. That's what I kind of consider it. I mean, I would think there's probably, if you go through NFL rosters, I would think there's more South Carolina guys than Kentucky, I would think.
Well, and like going into a away game, I went to South Carolina this year, but I'd much rather go to South Carolina than go back to Kentucky.
Yeah, probably. It's cold as hell in Lexington always.
There's
I mean, year round. July. There is beer in the stadium. July it's got to be snowing in Kentucky if Tennessee's playing.
Yeah, 100%. But there were some teams that got shafted a little bit. Florida, for instance, Georgia, South Carolina.
Wait, can I stop 1 second though? Go back to this Kentucky South Carolina debate. I mean, I legitimately believe that might have been the worst football game I've ever watched in 2019, and Tennessee somehow won. So I just think you can win at Kentucky more often than.
Yeah, that's fair.
A little anecdotal evidence.
We're playing 10 games against each opponent. I'd rather play South Carolina with Spencer Rattler than play Lynn Bowden Jr. at Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, Lynn Bowden Jr. is quarterback. Yeah, that's fair. Kentucky always has a wide receiver that can beat Tennessee at quarterback. It's a fair point. Very fair point.
But some teams that got shafted, so Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Oklahoma.
Oh, they don't even get LSU in that? That's kind of beneficial.
But still, like, I mean, if Oklahoma can be somewhat of a – I think they do fall off some.
I think they fall off like they did this year in the SEC. I think you saw a SEC Oklahoma this year. I really do.
I like it.
If it was Lincoln Riley, I'd probably feel differently. Lincoln Riley's a good football coach. He is a snake of an asshole, but he is a good football coach. I don't know I think you maybe need an asshole at Oklahoma. I don't know if Brett Venables is the right asshole.
Yeah. Here's Vandy's Tennessee, Missouri, Auburn.
Oh, good for them. Wow. Good for them.
Alabama's is Auburn, Tennessee, LSU. That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, but what more could you ask? I mean, that's.
Well, here's the thing. Like, this is why I like it because it's evening out. Like you're not giving Georgia and Alabama Vanderbilt.
If you ask any Alabama fan, real fan, not these whatever you want to call them, in 2018, you gave them that schedule, they would have been foaming at the mouth, man. Don't let them out of it now.
Yeah. I mean, sure, they would love to have a Vanderbilt. They love to have a Missouri. But, like, this is the way to kind of even it out a little bit. And, you know, you keep your rivalries in place. Auburn and Tennessee, you're going to get those two. And right. I think LSU LSU and Alabama have become a big rivalry. Going back to Joe Burrow and going back to this year when, I didn't think LSU would beat Alabama, and they did.
I mean, beyond that, you can go back a long time. I mean, a decade ago. I mean, I thought they formed a really nice rivalry with some of those great teams.
Well, I mean, it's Saban. It's Saban's old team.
Good point, too. Maybe we bring Michigan State in the SEC. Kent State?
Yeah. Here's Auburn. And they tried to even it out as much as possible, but they got Alabama, Georgia, and Vanderbilt.
Good. F Auburn. I don't give it. Auburn has become one of my most hated teams. They think they're hot shit. They do. And they aren't. Listen, I'm not.
If Tennessee hired Pruitt and JG.
If Tennessee had hired Hugh, if Tennessee had hired Hugh Freeze, I probably feel differently about it. But you had to hire Hugh Freeze to feel like you could win. So,
yeah,
I don't know why I erased that. I didn't need to. I never updated it. Yeah, I'd probably feel differently. But you had to hire Hugh Freeze to win ball games. You ain't shit. Sorry. When's he gonna make it in the XFL? We haven't heard anything about him in the XFL.
Also, Dylan, clip that. I want to get a picture of Caleb holding that.
We're never gonna get to our fails of the week in right time because you hear about, speaking of the XFL, our man Quentin Dormady giving out plays. I don't know. Some of it's gotten erased. Yeah, Quentin Dormady just mailing the whole season in, giving out plays to the opposing team. I hope he won some money in Vegas. That's all I hope.
Poor guy. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. How do you even get caught?
Yeah, how's that story real? And a lot of people are like, oh, I bet he was just talking to his buddies who maybe play on other teams. If he was giving out whole plays, he wasn't talking to his buddies. I mean, come on. I don't know the whole story, but that wasn't it. That's not the whole story.
Gosh. Poor guy just never had it. I do want to ask you about a couple. So LSU, I want to see about this one. Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama.
That's a tough one. That's tough. And that's one of those ones that, maybe there's some better years. I mean, you look at A&M right now, but it's a place. I mean, even Ole Miss, even in their down years, like they're going to have talent it's going to make it not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not an easy one. But I mean, to be fair, unless you're getting Vanderbilt like Tennessee is, how many schedules are going to be easy? So there's 3 people that'll get easy ones.
Missouri got an easy one.
Good for them.
Arkansas, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean
that's got to be the easiest one, right? I don't know. I don't know if the easy is the right way to say it, but it's the easiest one probably.
Right. And you're going 9. You're having a 9-game SEC schedule, so like it's gonna even itself out. But like your 3 permanent opponents, like Tennessee's probably gonna have years where they play Georgia and Alabama a couple years, but you're not having to do it consistently every single year.
Well, I think that's a good argument for anyone that kind of opposes it because someone will have 3 teams will have Vanderbilt. The fact that you're moving to 9 games, assuming that's what's going to happen with this 3-game permanent schedule, that's 6 games on your schedule. That's 6 more games. It's never going to be easy. Easy will never be the word to describe it. I don't know how much better you could get. Sorry, I'm in my Jeremy Banks mode. Yeah, but yeah, I really don't. The only solution is to kick Vanderbilt out of the SEC, and I'm not against that.
Yeah,
bring Sewanee back.
Yeah, but other than that, like I mean, Ole Miss got Mississippi State, LSU, Arkansas. That they don't have to play a Georgia or Alabama, but still, that's not easy.
Not easy, no.
So at the end of the day, it is the SEC. So, but I like Tennessee's draw there. I do.
Absolutely. I know. Yeah. Not easy is not the word I'd describe it, but it could be a lot worse.
Sure.
It could be a lot worse. All right, what do we got next? Little baseballs. We going to the diamond?
Yeah, let's go to the diamond, man. Let's I got them out. Just used it too. It's disgusting. There's hair going everywhere.
I love my orange brim in Johnson City. I'll bring it down eventually. Sweeps, baby.
Dude,
sweeps.
It feels good. I kind of want to give Gonzaga credit to start.
You should.
They have to be the best 1-9 team in the country. I mean, that record is abysmal. But like, dude, their starting pitch, like, they carved us up.
Yeah.
On Friday night, 15 strikeouts. I thought they hit the ball pretty, like, as good as you kind of can against Tennessee's pitching staff, and yeah, I thought they played pretty well. Now their bullpen is booty cheeks.
Well, it definitely feels like depth is the issue when you separate Gonzaga and Tennessee. Depth feels like the issue.
Like they have guys that can throw in the 90s. Their starting pitching was pretty good. But that, like, Tennessee used a couple innings to pull away, and they had a guy who hit 3 home runs today. I don't know why we kept pitching to him, but he kept hitting them out.
Well, he had to stop eventually, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I do kind of want to start by giving Gonzaga a little bit of credit. I thought they played – that was the best offensive team Tennessee has played up to this point. And I know we played Grand Canyon, but – they barreled up, like, they got 6 hits off Dolander. They got barreled up Burns a little bit. Drew Beam gave up some hits today. So, all those guys pitched good enough to win, and they're going to. But that's as good as you can get. You got to get a little bit of help from your bullpen to kind of help you out, and they just didn't get that.
Yeah, no, this is one of those series that you just kind of – it felt like you kind of got – I mean, you're hitting definitely today. Today I was in the car. It was 8-6, 8 to whatever it was. And then I got back home. Couldn't find it on the radio. They normally do 2 radio stations when it's 2 games going. Couldn't find it on the radio, and it was 16 to what – like it was insane how fast it got out of hand. I mean, absolutely insane.
Yep.
And I think is that the story of the year? Your hitting's going to kind of pick up slack, maybe. I hope it is.
For Tennessee.
Yeah, no, because we talked about it, your pitching's going to. How do we kind of phrase it? It wasn't keep you in ball. Maybe it was keep you in ball games. Your pitching's going to. I don't know how to phrase it. And then we talked about the Grand Canyon and Arizona.
You're going to be in every single
there.
game because
so I guess it was keep you in ball games. Your pitching's going to keep you in ball games. Your hitting's going to win it for you. And that's kind of what it felt like this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the bats came alive a little bit, and it was good to see somebody besides Jared Dickey, Blake Burke, and Christian Moore do some damage. Zane Denton.
How far did that Kyle Booker home run go? Did we get have you seen that yet? I forgot to look for it.
Dylan,
can you pull that up for us?
It wasn't as far as Christian Moore's on.
That went over the porch?
Yeah. It was. How far was his? I have it written down somewhere. Christian Moore's was 452 feet.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, talking about bonus. All of it.
That's bonus on the show. You get extra pitches there on the home run derby. You got to hit 450, baby.
Yeah, and he hit one today, 432, dead center.
I mean, he's a. What do we talk about him with? I was shocked by. I can't remember what it was. We were talking about him. I mean, he's just a freak of nature. He's not that big of a human being either, but he's so strong.
Yeah, he's stout. 432 is all. Oh, that was Christian Moore. Kyle Booker was 419.
Okay, I thought his was longer than that. I mean, first off, 419 in that park is monstrous because look, that park's a little small, so you get to see it just fly.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought it was longer than 419. Regardless, that's a monster hit.
I thought there was another one.
When did the Darth Vader hat get added? Was that this weekend? Is that the first time we saw it?
So we saw it last weekend as well.
Oh, okay, I don't remember seeing.
Oh, so
pictures
we
of
didn't see the
Darth Vader
hat. We
helmet.
got the lightsaber. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
the helmet was added this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
I thought.
it. Yeah, be the villains.
Oh, for sure.
Just embrace it. It's who we are. Yeah, Blake Burke continues to be the best hitter in the country. And Tennessee outscored Gonzaga, I think, 32-13. So, like, you scored more runs than you played innings. I think that's all you can ask for. With the pitching, that you're going to win a lot of ball games if you're doing that and the pitching you got.
Which is pretty crazy that Tennessee outscored Gonzaga that much. Because you mentioned it, best 1-9 team you've seen. It just felt like they hung around a lot this weekend.
Well, in all their games that they've scored a lot of runs, it's just, I mean, when you look at the score, you're like, you can tell their bullpen is just ass. But yeah, well, I don't think we got to talk about kind of Maui being eligible.
We haven't.
Tony Vitello back. Yeah, I think it's about freaking time. I'll just go ahead and say that.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good to have him in your lineup, and then it's probably you probably get more benefit from him, especially with Austin Jaslove playing so well at the plate. I mean, you really benefit more from him in the field, and so it's good to have him there.
Mm-hmm.
All-American.
Yeah, I mean, props to Austin Jaslove because, and I know they did award him, on that Tuesday game, kind of put him at DH, kind of as a thank you. I thought he played well, and it sucks because he didn't do anything to lose his position. And
it's just an All-American. It's just an All-American there waiting.
Right.
I mean, that's all.
Yes. And I think it is going to be, and I think we talked about it on the bat flip. It's going to be huge next year. You lose Maui Ahuna, but you still have Austin Jaslove probably. I think that's going to be big to kind of have him at shortstop, be kind of that mainstay because he was really good in the field, and I thought he kind of handled his bat well too.
Yeah, and that's a guy too that we've kind of discussed it. Feels like you have a lot of guys that have a good bat. How do you fit, especially with the outfield? We talked about the outfield. How do you kind of fit them in to the lineup? I mean, that's a guy that if somebody isn't getting it done, you feel like you could probably fit him in somewhere. At DH, you can get him in at DH. I mean, he's done a solid job, and I don't expect him to play there a ton, but he's a guy that can probably do it for you.
Yeah, and you saw some guys kind of solidify their spot. I thought I mentioned, Kyle Booker had a good weekend. But we'll talk about that a lot more on the bat flip tomorrow night at 7. So be there for that as we kind of get in depth of each game and kind of who's who with Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you tune in for that. That's different Dylan, Dylan Taylor and Landon. So yeah, make sure you guys get in there on Monday night for that one.
But 11 in a row.
I mean, again, I know Tennessee hasn't played the best opponents yet, but win, baby, win. Win, baby, win.
Got to. Most important.
Most important. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah. I do want to mention, Caleb, I don't know what happened, but I do want to mention it is Women's History Month, so got to mention the women. I got onto saying we don't talk about women enough, so I do want to mention them. Women's tennis went 4-0 against Missouri. Softball won 19-0 against Belmont. They beat App State 8-0. They beat Jacksonville State 9-0. Good God, Lady Vols softball. I mean, they're not even giving anybody a chance.
Shout out to women.
Yeah, shout out to women. Love women. Women's basketball beat Kentucky 80-71, and then dunking on Kim Mulkey, 69-67. Also nice. Getting the SEC championship today. Ended up dropping that to South Carolina, but when you're playing South Carolina, that's probably just going to happen.
They are very good. Unfortunately, they are very good. Shout out to Kelly Harper and that team. I mean, it feels like they've played good basketball. There's like a hurdle they can't get over, and this week felt like they got over that hurdle.
Yeah.
Hope it continues.
Yeah, good win. A good time to be playing your best basketball.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
if I can say that about the men, but it seems like the women is definitely doing that.
Also, did you see that last foul they called on the Mulkey picture you sent out? Did you see what caused that?
Yeah.
How does anybody think that's not an offensive foul? I mean, she just completely tried to clear her with her left arm.
Yeah.
Put her elbow in her face. There were some people
got whiplash because she got hit so hard.
Some people are like, that's not a charge. I mean, they didn't call a charge. Do you think the only offensive foul they can call is a charge? It's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah, only offensive foul.
Sorry, I'm going away because I'm trying to pull up my most important. My first one is Tennessee hockey. I got to give a shout out to Tennessee hockey guy. You guys heard about me before we got the show started. Landon and Dylan did. Bob Zamboni's absolutely balling out in the whatever leagues below the NHL right now. So big hockey guy here. They are going to the Nationals. I think that's what it's called for club hockey is the Nationals. If you go to their page, it's at BaseVols Hockey. You can donate to that. They are completely self-funded may not be the right word, but they are not funded by the school. They have no school affiliate or
they're not sanctioned.
Athletic. Yeah, not sanctioned, not athletic affiliation. So they do have to raise money to get to Nationals. They did earn the right to be there. So if you can give to them, feel like you should give to them. Absolutely do that. Get them to Nationals. They also have some sweet jerseys. I hope they go on sale again soon. So we're BaseVols Hockey. Just ball. Go win Nationals. I know Kentucky's there. I don't know who else is there. Beat Kentucky if you get to play them. Beat them. That's all I ask.
Yep. Man, I was looking for some most importance. Dude, I have a lot of fails, but I will give this guy the lone Tennessee fan in the Auburn crowd. Shout out to that guy. No clue who he is, but shout out to him. I mean, that man just what a guy. I mean, he didn't deserve to lose that game.
No, I mean he held strong as swag surfing is that is a song when you hear it, you cannot help but to swag surf, and he refused because he was in the Auburn section. He would not swag surf.
I love
it. My fails, I think, have already been read off. I had Quentin Dormandy. I had, let's see. I'm shocked you haven't called me out on the Alex Murdoch stuff.
I heard you're a huge Murdoch fan.
I think I disagree with that, but I don't know.
I think my fail is how you say his name.
Murdoch, Elick.
Yeah, but it's spelled Alex.
It's so low, dude. It's just the most low country accent. They live in a different world than us, for sure.
It's
for like, sure. It's like some people will call him Elick, some people call him Alec. Everyone calls him Murdoch. Yeah, no, it's very complicated. Probably difficult for some people to keep up. Right. I think he calls himself Alex, which is amazing. I think he says I'm Alex. Maybe he says Alec.
Yeah, I think he says Alec.
Okay. But yeah, very, very, very confusing. Maybe just spell it a different way if you're going to do that. I don't know. Like, there's no way ALEC is pronounced differently than ALEX in that vernacular. There's no way. Absolutely no way.
I got Nolan Smith. Had a great combine. I'll give him that. But he did say we do more with less at Georgia.
Dude, Kirby's smart.
He's the best salesman of all. We thought Butch Jones was a good salesman. He's nowhere close to Kirby Smart.
I tweeted it during the 7-5 crap of the national championship. Nazi level propaganda in Athens. I mean, it is insane.
Yep.
What in the world? How could you ever say that? You shouldn't be able to think that legally. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to legally even think that, right, let alone say it aloud. Do more with less. Less than who? The maybe less than the freaking Chiefs. Maybe even then, I'd argue no.
We have less than 90% of the NFL teams.
I would love to see their high school ratings matched up with the Chiefs. I would. I bet it's not terribly far off. I know that's high school ratings. You can't count that, but I would love to do that.
Yeah. Let's do it, Dylan. That's your job.
Mike Farrell, whatever his name is, Farrell. That's not his name. Mike Farrell. I bet that dude would have Trey Smith so low rated that the Georgia would come out on top. Guarantee it. Be all his fault.
Also, Dylan, if you have any most important fails, you can get in here as well.
I've got one more fail. Apparently, Will Levis is deathly afraid of milk, which is concerning that he's deathly afraid.
That means he never breastfed, which also means he has terrible bones. So
Ass guy.
Yeah.
That's an up. Positive.
Or sus.
Ooh, good point. Good, absolutely good point. Yeah, I've got some questions for him. It kind of the mayo and coffee makes sense. A lot of people said that was a bit. Now I'm thinking maybe it wasn't a bit. Also, I definitely thought it was a parody, but it was actually tweeted out from an NFL guy. So I really don't know what to think of that, other than maybe IBS. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I like that. Man, I had one more. Nick Saban about the 3 permanent opponents. They said they're giving us Tennessee, Auburn, LSU. I don't know how they can come to that decision. I mean,
that was really.
If he got Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Mississippi State, he would still cry about it.
Well, I don't know how they came to that decision. Yeah, Nick, that was really hard to figure out how they came to that decision.
Right. 2
of them are rivals. The other one's arguably a rival. What are we doing? What do you mean how they came to that decision? Get out of here. I mean, he's just such a grumpy old man. Can't stand him.
Which they would have been 1-2 this year in those 3. So maybe he is a little. Maybe I get why he's upset. Then I also have Ole Miss baseball. Defending national champs. A little scared of Louisiana Tech. So they played a midweek game with Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech took a 5-4 lead in the 7th, and then a lightning delay was called, and they reverted to the last completed inning, which Ole Miss ended up winning the game 4-3.
What a dumb rule, by the way.
Correct.
What an incredibly dumb rule.
They interviewed Louisiana Tech's coach, and he was just like, we'll play. I wanted to come back and play. We said we'd come back and play and finish the game. He's like, we don't care. We'll play anybody. And Ole Miss said no.
Apparently they had to get on that plane in Minnesota this weekend, so they couldn't finish it out tomorrow. That was insane. First off, I didn't have a problem with Ole Miss initially. What an incredibly dumb rule. Just absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
I'll never understand that. I didn't see this, Dylan. Dylan, you're going to have to come in and explain. You can't. I saw them break. Did you see them break? I saw them break the U over the knee, but I didn't see the middle finger.
So the night before, they threw up the U, and the announcer said, that just shouldn't be allowed or something like that. They should have consequences or something like that. And then Florida comes today and Florida, I think last night also hit a home run and flipped the bird.
Oh, I missed that. I have no problem with that. I can't.
Well, I mean, you don't see that. Clear about. It's not all over social media like Jordan Beck was when he did it. So.
Of course it didn't. Yeah, I've only seen Miami throwing the U round in second, and then the guy from Florida that hit a home run break the U over his knee, which I thought was an excellent celebration, by the way. I hate to give Florida any credit, but that was phenomenal. I think we saw I take that back. I think he copied that. Didn't a Duke player do that on a pick 6 this year? I'll take that back. Not a good celebration. You stole it. Stolen valor. Take that. I'll take everything I said back. Florida, you're frauds.
Frauds. I like that. The Florida frauds. All right. That's
frauds or frogs?
Frauds.
Okay. Frauds. I mean, that makes more sense.
Or frogs. I mean, I guess they could be a frog if they wanted to. I mean, isn't a gator kind of just like a dinosaur and a frog put together?
They are. Yeah, they're all.
They amphibians?
No. I don't think gators are amphibians. Gators are.
They are amphibians, are they not?
I don't think. Are they?
Reptiles. They're a reptile. Damn.
Frog is a frog a reptile? Frog's an amphibian. Right?
A frog is an amphibian, yeah.
Are they 2 separate categories? I feel very dumb. I wish we hadn't talked about this now. Are they? Okay, good. I was going to say I feel incredibly dumb right now. If not.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I feel better now. Yeah. That was Frog Talk. More important issues.
There you go.
Talking frogs.
Talking frogs. Guys, that's all we got. You got anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Guys, good to be back. Thank y'all for listening. We'll be back on Thursday.
And tomorrow. Bat Flip will be back tomorrow. More important issues.
Bat Flip tomorrow. More important issues will be back Thursday. We got Boston College baseball game on Tuesday, and then Tennessee will play at 2 in the SEC basketball tournament. So we'll have all that information there. Guys, thanks again. Have a good week. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.